Hello, how are you? Colleen Coles here, and welcome back to this second video on our series on what your body is trying to tell you to guide your purpose and relationships, even if you're in a negative, chronic pattern of unhealth or something you're not proud of, or you're sick. All of that still can be guidance for you in your life and living out your best life and your most authentic truth, being you confidently in the world. My name is Colleen Coles. I'm a purpose alignment coach and spiritual teacher, energy healer, and I help women all around the world, just like you, get more attuned with who they really are and have the confidence and courage to be that in the world. So whatever that looks like now compared to maybe even if it's different from the past when you've, found great relationship or success in your career, it might be different now. And so what I help you do is get the confidence and clarity of your own guidance system and the truth of who you are to come out so you can live your best life now, be guided now, and have wonderful, meaningful work in the world along with really stable, loving, supportive relationships just from being you. Okay, so last video I shared all about the main reasons why our body gets sick in the first place, why our body would put us through so much distress if it's actually trying to help us. And so if you've been in a negative emotional pattern with your body, say emotional eating or something like that, binge eating, something like that, if you have had a chronic health issue that you just can't seem to figure out, maybe it feels like your body's attacking you. I had chronic cystic acne for years, and it just felt like my body was always against me and that it couldn't have had anything positive to say because it was always making me feel sick and really terrible about myself and unconfident being myself in the world, like without makeup or with makeup, like just showing up as me. And so it's really hard to believe that our body would even be there for us as our intuitive guide or as our friend when we have that sickness in place. So if you missed that video, I want you to definitely check that out on YouTube or through your email with the link to that video. I don't want you to miss that because I share all those reasons why those sicknesses come up so we can clear the air and start to make space for becoming friends with your body and letting it guide you as your teacher and best friend in the world while we're here on earth. I also share my story of healing and going from 10 years of chronic cystic acne, that's really hard to say, to feel like being acne free and having that healing process be guidance into hearing my own unique voice and authentic truth again, and knowing its guidance that then even led me to leave a career that wasn't lighting me up as an elementary school teacher to now owning my own business as a life coach for women where I get to like be who I am for a living. And it's so cool. It's so fun to be able to like live out a dream, and it's starting with the sickness I had. And then the clarity that came from it after I became friends with my body. So, and not to mention, by the way, the confidence I had by just showing up physically in the world and the ability to attract in beautiful relationships because I was my most authentic self. So definitely check that video out. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it today because we have more stuff to cover. Okay, so you might be feeling like you cannot trust your body. And maybe even you know now that your body might have something to share with you, but you're not sure what that could be. What could the message be for you when you feel trapped in an emotional eating cycle or like you can't get in control of your real health? That's what we're going to be talking about today, the specific messages your body can show you, really show you, through what I call body mapping, so you can start to get more specific about what your body is trying to say. Because here's the truth. Throughout our life, we're going to be healing. And yet, when we become one with the part of us that needs to heal, we're gonna make that happen even more quickly. And we're always gonna be guided into knowing what's right for us and what's not. So I'm gonna be looking through my notes today just because I wrote some really cool stuff down and I don't wanna miss a thing. And so if you're here, make sure to turn off any distractions you have, whatever that is. Make sure to just like silence your phone or put away the other tabs, whatever, just to make sure you're here fully alive and present. Because when we're physically present, we're mentally present. Okay, also I want to say a couple disclaimers. One, with all of these videos I'm making in this series, I want you to know I am not a doctor, and if you need physical attention and health support, like, you need to go get that. And what this is really meant to do for you is to give you information that can really activate your own body to heal itself. My hope and prayer for you is that this info will totally be there as like guidance on your path for your body to have the energy to heal itself, right? Like, you just showing up here means so much in that you're obviously ready to receive this information, but you're already activating your own body's healing abilities just by showing up. How cool is that? So, you know, if you really do need physical attention, I'm not claiming I'm going to heal anything for you. It's more about how this can help you heal yourself and make sure you get the help you need if you need more help. Also, I'm going to be at the end of the series, just a disclaimer, talking to you about a really wonderful workshop I'm going to be offering at the end of this series, all to take this information further and specifically have it tailored to you. So, disclaimer, and definitely stay tuned because it's going to be so exciting. Okay, so I already introduced myself. I want you to introduce you to me. So in the comments, if you could please write down your name and where you're coming from, I would so love it. And other people can share in this community as well and get to know each other because we're all in it together, right? The more we all heal, the more we all thrive. So go ahead and let me know where you're from. And if you want to, go ahead and, I know it can be personal, but feel free to write me a comment of what you're dealing with in your life. What do you want to transform? And what are you hoping to like get from transformation? What are you hoping would happen if you transform your life? So that's kind of like 2 or 3 things in one. Just tell me about yourself, where you're from, and what you want transformed, and what would that look like for you if you did. Okay? Okay. Let's do it. So, I'm also an energy healer, and so what that means is I use my own intuitive energy healing system to, when I work one-on-one with people, heal, or in a group, see physically and also feel it, where blocks are in your system to what you really need. And so what this work is combining all of the guidance that I've learned as a coach, along with the energy work that I have as a healer to give you the tools to have guidance throughout your life. Because the truth is, we're always shifting and changing, and it's when you can have those tools and the clarity to shift in any moment, pivot in any moment, that's when you become empowered, because you can have the confidence to go in a new direction at any point that you need. Okay. Okay, so this is what I have found since being an energy healer and really letting this own gift come out into the world and help others, is that there is a language in the body. And what's so cool is that we can actually treat it more like a map to show a language. Our body wants to be our friend. It's really a neutral, compassionate, energetic being that really houses our soul. It really houses our spirit. And the more that we can get into alignment with it rather than fighting or feeling at tension with it, we're only going to be able to express who we really are more and more and have the energy to do what we're here to do in the world. But that can really take getting to know it, clearing the stuff on top that's keeping us stuck, and knowing that that's possible as well. Because sometimes it's hard to really see what we're here to do, who we're meant to be, how we can feel confident when we're constantly sick or our health is in flux. And so I want you to just take a moment and like close your eyes. Go ahead and just close your eyes and imagine that one maybe area that you have been feeling stuck in with your health. What's that thing that comes to mind? And I want you just to imagine what it would be like to not have that be a thing in your life anymore. What would that mean for you, for your health? How would that make you feel to no longer be worrying about this anymore, or have it be what you think about at night or when you look in the mirror? What would that feel like? Would it feel like confidence? Would it feel like clarity? Would it feel like you got this? How would that affect your relationships? Would you be able to show up more as yourself? How would that affect your daily life and the energy you had? How would that even affect your career and your meaningful work in your life? Just go ahead and tune into that for a second. And what that could mean for you to really heal this for good. So go ahead and take a deep breath in and release it. And that, my friend, is possible for you. That is what it can feel like to really heal this. And how I know it's possible is that you're already tuned into it. And what's even cooler is to remember that the way that you did tune into that just now was through your body. And your body is trying to help. Your body is a divine being of the earth and spirit that can help you on your path, guide your steps, and also just like, again, give you that dream life you've been looking for. So what it can take is healing what has been put on top. And in the first video, I talked about what can really cause our sickness to happen. It's not happening to you. It's really happening for you, and for you to clear out what is blocking you in every area of your life from being who you're really meant to be. But really, that takes forgiveness. That takes forgiveness. So one of the first steps to clear it, but then more so get clear on what your body really wants to tell you, is to forgive whatever is on top that's causing you to stay stuck. Whatever it is, whether you identified the thoughts that were contributing, or the lineage of feeling or trauma or hurt that's contributed, whatever it is that you got clear on from the first session of this series and the first video, whatever that was that you got clear about, I want you to take a moment to forgive it, because forgiveness is the catalyst for change. Forgiveness is the catalyst for you to become who you are deeper down and let that shine out into the world. And so with a prayer of just, I forgive this thought, I forgive this pattern, I forgive this state, and I let it go to a power bigger than myself to have bigger healing and change and transformation in my life. That is the first step. So now that we've taken a second to forgive, I want to give you a clear map on how to read what the body is really trying to say, right? So now that we're clearing that, we're getting more friends with the body, let's go ahead and dive into what's possible for you now and what the body wants to say beyond the cacophony of the crazy of the health impediment, right? Okay. Drop me a line in the comments. I'd love to hear how you felt after all of that. How did you feel right now after this forgiveness, and even just tuning into your body and letting it be a positive experience for you? I want to hear, so please do let me know in the comments. I'm going to look at each and every one and hopefully respond to each and every one. So definitely let me know how you feel right now. Okay. Just looking at my notes. Oh, okay. So okay. I got a little out of order here, but I got really excited because I saw something I'm going to share. But I want to kind of give you these tools. So let's go ahead first, and then I'm going to share some case studies with you on what it can be like to really transform this and live it out on the daily, okay? So I'm so excited. So what I'm going to share with you is part of something I termed as body mapping. Okay, so body mapping is more like a treasure map than like a written book. And this is what I have found is kind of more the language of the body. It's kind of almost like we're shamans, or and a shaman is like a medicine healer, and it's somebody who can go out into the jungle and hear and see what is meant for them through the symbols and through the synchronicity and what shows up for them in the moment. They're like reading it, right? Like it's a language. And so that's how I have found the guidance in my own body and in my own world to help me on my path. So again, it's more like us deciphering what the guidance shows up in our body as, and putting it all together. And that's what I call body mapping. The ability to read the signs and see where the messages are coming from in our body to get it all together to actually get you guided and have a message, okay? So it's kind of like there's a lot of different pieces because there's a big body we're dealing with. But the big one I want to share with you today is called, well, it's all called body mapping, but it's about understanding how energy moves in your body with the right and the left side of your body, okay? So obviously we have a front and back, top, bottom, inner, outer, but today we're gonna talk about in the time that we have the right and the left side, okay? So here we go. You ready? It's so cool. Okay, so energy or chi is the energetic life force that's moving your cells, moving your body, helping you be so enthusiastic right now. And it's like the first subtle energy system in our body. And then we get more dense and dense and dense as we keep going from like the air we breathe and the gases and then the muscle and the bone, like the more dense out. So the subtlest energy is that chi, is that vital energy moving the whole thing. And that energy has a rhythm in how it moves through our body. Pretty cool, right? So I want you to put out your left hand. This is my left hand, okay? Okay, so that left side of your entire being is the feminine side, okay? Like in all of creation, we have masculine, feminine, yin, yang, right? And so our left side is that feminine side. On the right side, we have what? The masculine, right? And in how these energies show up, they like symbolize different things, right? We have the feminine, we have the masculine. We have more of the receiving side and the pleasure side, and the action-taking side and the driven side. Action, power. On the left as well, we have the past, okay? So the energy moving through this side, our left side, is the past. The right, that masculine, is the future. And so when you think about how maybe worries come to you, typically in that more feminine energy, it's about worrying about the past, right? It's like we're dwelling on what we said and whether it made somebody feel bad or if it was the right thing to say, or how we could have done something differently and it was a regret. When worry shows up in the body or in our mind on that more masculine side, it tends to be future oriented. What if I can't make this happen? What if this doesn't come in for me? You know, all of that stuff about performance, action, drive, rather than receiving, it's about going. That's on the masculine side. What do we have in the center? We have presence. We have centeredness. Okay, so all of that correlates with the feminine and the masculine. And one really cool thing I just love is when science really matches what guides have been talking about for thousands of years, is how our brain really correlates with this side as well. So our right hemisphere of the brain is actually more of that creative, intuitive side. Our left hemisphere of the brain is more logic, language, lists, planning, all of that type of more masculine energy. And yet what's so cool is that in our body, the energy in what sends, like the signals, crosses at the corpus callosum, which is right in the middle connecting your two hemispheres. And so all of the energy we put out or take in actually crosses through the body. So what I feel in my left side actually registers in the right hemisphere. And the right hemisphere, science has shown us, is all more in that feminine space. It's all more about the intuitive, creative, non-linear side. And vice versa. Our right side, which energetically is the masculine, future, action, drive, is actually taking place, communicating with the left hemisphere, which is all of that same energy. How cool. And so part of our work is to actually integrate those. But what we're talking about today is body mapping, where you can see where ailments or pain shows up, and you can see how you're out of alignment maybe, and can come back into alignment through that lesson or through that signal. So let me know if that makes sense to you in the comments. I'm hoping it does. So, okay, here we go. Okay, cool. So this is how this showed up for me as we kind of start to wrap up this video. This is how it can help you. It can help you by seeing where your like sickness or chronic illness or chronic condition is coming up. And then you can actually like read what that means to you and maybe where you got out of alignment so that you can get back into alignment. So for example, when I had chronic like cysts under my skin for acne, it was terrible. And for a while, it was just all over my face. But as I started to learn what I know now and these techniques, specifically the left and right side of the body, it started to give me guidance of when I was kind of messing up and what I could do differently in the future. Because when we put things into our body or go to a place that could be kind of toxic for us, it's going to take time to actually manifest out into the body. Okay, so through feeling this pain or whatever shows up for us in both sides of the body, we're kind of seeing the past a little bit so that then we can redirect the future. So for example, when I started learning this and really had chronic cystic acne bad, I was working at a steakhouse. And this steakhouse was really fun to work at because you got free food all the time. You had steaks, you had cheesecake, you had green beans, you had all these things. And I remember, and if you remember my story from the first video, I was already trying so hard to be really strict. And I was really working hard to cut out gluten and sugar and dairy and all of that. But I had a huge major shift when I found my own mentor who helped me see I was actually being too strict. I was being too masculine by being tight and locked in and driven. What I really needed was actually more pleasure, and that had scared me. So as I actually kept allowing pleasure into my life, acne started to clear up on my right side. Now, if you have too much pleasure, that's also going to be a problem. And as I started to recognize how energy showed up, I learned this in multiple meditation classes, which was so life-changing. I started to go to this restaurant job, and instead of only cutting everything out, I started to listen to my body. And as I did and listened to the voice of who I really was, what I really wanted, did I really want the cheesecake, or was I just mindlessly eating it? Did I really want the steak and the protein, or was I being too strict and not allowing sweets into my life? With this newfound authentic voice, I was able to really start to see and have balance again. Now here's where it gets really interesting, is as I took this guidance and allowed this authentic voice to come through, the acne started to go away. Now, I was able though to use this body mapping information and technique with what I'm sharing with you to then give me guidance, okay? So, for example, I maybe would start to get clear skin and all of a sudden on my left side get acne all up in here in a breakout. So what I was able to do before, I would just be like, damn it, I have this acne, my body hates me, I hate it, like there's no rule to this. But then I was like, wait, left side, feminine. past. Okay, so where am I maybe ruminating on the past? But also it was a big indicator of pleasure. And so I was like, okay, and here I know dairy and acne is a big thing. So I'd be like, okay, where am I just having too much pleasure, right? Oh yeah, I ate that piece of cheesecake. Did I actually want it? Well, yeah, but it was like the 5th slice in 5 days. Maybe it's time to take it easy. My body is letting me know, right? Or, for example, if I started getting acne on the, so then I would stop, right? And then it would clear up. Or, for example, if I started getting like, I used to have, see if you really want to see the scarring? I was like really heavy and out of alignment and inflamed, literally inflamed. See, that's the shaman coming out a little bit of seeing the symbol of this. Acne is inflammation and the face is our identity. And so I was very much inflamed on my masculine side, the do side, and I was really a workaholic, and I was always having really strong standards and cut expectations and all this stuff. So it always showed up right here. Who would have thought I'm gonna like show you my acne scars? Cool. But at this steakhouse job, I was also studying to be a coach. And so when I'd get too rigid again and too focused on the end goal, I would notice I'd get more inflamed and acne right here. And by knowing, okay, wait, right side, masculine, doing, am I doing too much again? And that would be, okay, I need to relax. That would be my message of needing to relax. And so I'd go out with my friends and I'd feel so much better and in balance that the next day I showed up to do my coaching homework in my certification course. I was able to fully be there and really dive in and have it be more effective and also have a balanced life. And so I would like, that's what we're talking about here. So I want you to tell me and just think about how can you use this information in your life. I want you to go ahead and practice in the next couple days using this information to see where pain shows up in your body, and what it could be trying to tell you. Because again, once we forgive what's going on, we can actually receive the guidance that ailment is there to give us, right? Like that acne didn't just show up to attack me, it's now allowing me to teach and help other people. So when we can see these ailments for good and forgive the past, that's when we can really start to change. So my goal for you is for the next couple days, practice using this information. Whenever something shows up in your body, for example, in my wrist, sometimes I'll get a little tight, depending on which wrist it is, and knowing what the wrists represent, flexibility, moving with the flow, being able to move, right? I can tell, okay, wait, the right side, that's flexibility. Okay, I need to be more flexible right now with what I have going on, right? Or the left, hey, I'm being too flexible in having fun. I need to have a little more structure. I won't get my needs met. Where is the pain showing up for you? Even if you're in the kitchen and emotionally eating again, where do you feel that pain? Is it right here? Is it in the top of your head, the right, the left? And start to see how could this be your feminine side showing up to help you to say, hey, this is a little too much. Or the masculine, future self, future worry there to say, hey, you need to like get in a balance, go back to center. So let me know how this resonates with you. I'd love to hear, even after you try this, definitely even write me an email, Colleen@ColleenColes.com, and let me know what this does for you. But definitely let me know in the comments how this is resonating. Next video, what we're going to be doing is diving even more deeply. So today we covered just part of what is a multifaceted area of body mapping, knowing the language of like this treasure map of your beautiful body, and starting with the right and the left. There's even more to go more deeply into this, but that's all the time we have for today. Next video, we're going to be diving in how to like be more proactive with having this communion conversation with your body. So if you notice what we have now, I mean, this is really the first step, is kind of troubleshooting the past. What did I do to create this thing that now I need to get back into guidance with? It's still a very necessary step because you can't move forward without awareness, and this is all about awareness. Now, next video, it's gonna be even cooler because I'm gonna teach you specific techniques and using my own story of how to be, again, proactive and know like what to do and the guidance that you're receiving before making the choice. So you can know up front, what you should and shouldn't be doing for your best and highest good. Pretty cool, so exciting. I'm gonna be telling you a super cool story about when I was in Italy and really how this sincerely helped save my life, and I cannot wait to share it with you. Okay, so that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and next time I'm also gonna be sharing some other case studies that we didn't get to today. But just one really quick, it's so good. I had a friend of mine, her name is Jeanette. She came in to see me because she was having severe pain in her wrist. And it was so bad that it was a 7 out of a 10 and had been chronic for her for, I think, a year at least. When we sat down, I taught her some of this energy work healing. We actually worked on it and saw what her body was trying to tell her specifically. It gave her more clarity around what she wanted to do with her life. When she thought she had to only retire and live in one spot, in fact, she was actually allowing herself to look broader through knowing what she wanted and having the clarity in her body to see what was possible for her. And so as she left and we did some energy healing, and also I taught her the techniques to talk to her body, she was able to get that pain of a 7 down to a 1. And months later, after she contacted me, she told me, Colleen, I've been using those techniques every day, and when I needed it, that pain has been to a 0, and it's been lasting at a 0 since I met with you. And she's moving those plans that she set forward and she tuned into her body in that session, and now she's on track to living out that bigger dream than even she came in imagining, all through seeing what her body was trying to tell her and having the clarity to open up to bigger possibilities. And that's my prayer for you too. That's my heartfelt desire, is that you can transform whatever is holding you back and let it be a service to you and guide for you and for the betterment of all of us and all of the greatness you're here to bring and do and be in the world. Pow. All right, lots of love. Don't forget to write me comments and I will get back to you. And please do come to our next video all about what you can do more proactively to hear the guidance in the moment from making a choice before you actually make it. So exciting. Talk to you later and see you later.